Hi there, and this is Markets Tomorrow, and I'm Neeraj Shah.
Hi everyone, I'm Avan Dabash. We start off the show by telling you about the three experts. They'll be joining us over the next half hour. Sandeep Bhatia, ED and Head of Sales at Kotak Institutional Equities. Ashwini Gujral, Fund Manager at ashwinigujral.com. And finally, we also have Ambrish Baliga, Managing Partner, Global Wealth Management at Edelweiss Financial Services.
A good day for the markets, but Markets Tomorrow would essentially also imply the new series beginning, and I just want to focus for a bit on how the series of November is shaped up, because there is dichotomy in way the large caps have behaved vis-a-vis how the small caps have behaved. So Nifty and the Sensex have corrected almost 3%. The mid caps and the small caps have actually gone up close to 3% again. The BSE mid cap 2.7%. So that's the dichotomy that has happened in this series. Look at the sectoral gainers. And capital goods, with what L&T, BHEL, ABB, etc. have done, has registered a 5% growth. Autos hasn't had a bad month either, with the likes of Tata Motors or a couple of others having a fairly decent session. And metals, again, there's a dichotomy, and which is by just a 1% gain. Look at the individual names. So stocks like Aurobindo Pharma, Adani, Voltas, just gives you the flavor that the top gainers have not been the index stocks, but been the broader market stocks. The losers, Titan 14% down, Jet Airways 13% down, and there have been a handful of stocks which have corrected on news or otherwise. The one stock that I want to point out again is Tata Steel. We spoke about the dichotomy that existed in the metal space, and for this series, that is the series of November, stellar gains came in for Tata Steel. Not so much for some of the others, the likes of Sesa, Sterlite, etc. corrected, and which is why the BSE Metal Index didn't go up too much. But Tata Steel, as I said, had a splendid November series as well. So a lot of stocks doing extremely well, Arvind, Adani, Tata Steel, etc. and a few poor performers as well. That was essentially for the series. But for the day, Avan, as well, while the large caps did well, the mid caps didn't have a bad day either.
They took the cake. In fact, you had a good degree of outperformance coming in for the mid-cap end of the market. And as you saw for the series also, it was pretty strong. They ended at the day's high. And mind you, the mid and the small cap indices are above all of the daily moving averages. The Nifty Junior, though, it was in a tight range, but it went on to end at the day's high. And you had quite a few stocks from the broader markets, which really took everyone's breath away. Alstom TND, for one, in fact, is going to offer close to 1.6 crore shares via the QIB route. To QIBs via the IPP route. The price band is 159 to 174. That stock was on fire in today's session. Something like Suzlon also, it signed a contract with Mitsui for 106 megawatts of wind farm in Australia, and that counter was up and about. You had something like a Voltas, which was absolutely astounding in terms of the kind of movement that we've seen. And it's not just in today's session. You've seen it for the past 5 days. That counter has rallied exceedingly smartly, something like over 30% in the last 5 days. And of course, it's those order wins this week worth close to 1,000 crore rupees. And it was one of the stocks which was a good outperformer, highest volumes in the stock since the 15th of Feb 2012. So great going for select stocks from the broader universe. And it's also pertinent to note that the kind of turnover that supported the price activity today was also on the higher side. Should just pull up the picture for you in a bit, but you had the turnover which crossed the 4 lakh crore mark. But in the meantime, let's get in our experts to find out what they're making of the market momentum. And Ambrish, perhaps a great start to the December series as well. I mean, there's going to be a lot that will dot it in terms of the state elections. How do you see all of that panning out, and how do you see the index reacting?
In fact, we've been quite bullish for a while, and clearly the last couple of weeks has shown that 6,000 is a very good support level, and we have always bounced back from those levels. So like you clearly mentioned, I think elections is going to be a major decider going ahead, and December 8th results, I think, will be the major deciding factor for the markets. And we feel that markets will move towards that 6,300, 6,350 levels over the next couple of weeks.
Amrish, Ashwini, it's been an eventful series, and we spoke about the dichotomy. The question really remains, how do you believe, or how do you see the new series shaping up, considering there are a couple of fundamental events like the GDP numbers tomorrow or the election results, which will have a bearing in the first couple of weeks?
Well, I don't think great GDP numbers are expected. See, the point remains that you need some sort of a big game-changing news flow to get us out of this range, and that may not be expected for the next 10 to 15 days. I'm not sure even the assembly elections may be able to move the market out. So for the moment, it's time for mid caps. Large caps will consolidate. So chances are that we'll remain in this 59.50, 63.50 type of zone.
Sandeep, coming to you now, post those Diwali highs, the markets became range bound and acutely more volatile as we've seen this series. More importantly, we've seen that the fund flows have been drying out on a daily basis. Do you think the market is a little cautious and apprehensive about what December 8th, the state election outcome may throw up?
Well, we couldn't, ask for more flows. We probably in the emerging market universe have got one of the highest flows as a country. So clearly, India cannot complain as far as flows are concerned. We are running into a big elections season, starting from the December 8th results. I'm sure the state elections will have a short-term impact, but as we go into January, February, there would be expectations building up around the national elections. So in this kind of environment, I think investors will actually wait and reassess after December 8th results where we are headed in terms of the national elections, and clearly that's why the flows have slowed down. I wouldn't be very worried. I think in this phase, one thing is very clear. Fundamentally, we have bottomed out. Growth rates will start inching up. If we have a credible and a stable government as a center, then clearly this is going to be good for the markets. But let's wait and see. I think the near term, of course, until the election results on December 8th come through, there would be a bit of a sideways movement.
Just want to focus a bit on the cyclicals as well. And Ambrish, the kind of move that some of the cap good names have started to show, and the charts probably suggest that there is more to go without there being any fundamental change. What are you advising your clients to do with the L&Ts and the BHELs and the ABBs of the world?
No, clearly I think the market is moving on expectations of the elections, the general elections going ahead, and with that hopefully that we should see some green shoots, and a proper and a good government at the center could actually change the fortunes for India. I think clearly the market is betting on that, and that's the reason that they are clearly looking at those down and out stocks or sectors which we had seen had underperformed in the last couple of years. I think people are clearly looking at those sectors as compared to FMCG, pharma or IT, which has performed extremely well over the last 1.5 to 2 years. So clearly that shift is happening, and right now what we are seeing is the beginning of that shift. So I suppose things like capital goods and metals, I think these are sectors which will start moving, and they will perform over the next couple of months.
Yep, and for this series also the cap goods index has gained something like 5.4%. It's been the top sectoral performer. Metals has given it company, but a meager gain of 1% in comparison. But Ashwini, just wanted to flag off the likes of Voltas, Adani Enterprises. Both of these counters have seen a 25% plus return this series. Do you think that the kind of run-up that we've seen is likely to continue next series as well?
Well, obviously, stocks which have run up will probably consolidate, but it's clear that capital goods should continue to perform in the next series. Maybe post some correction, Voltas can move further towards 130, 135. Adani Enterprise could move closer to 300. But clearly, people should enter on declines because things which have run up 30-40% are likely to give back some gains.
Okay, what we'll do is slip into a very quick break at this point of time. All three of you just stay on with us. We'll come back and talk more about the non-cyclicals. Of course, we'll include the metals, but talk about the tire stocks which have had a splendid rally and a couple of other pockets which actually haven't done that well. Can they bounce back in the series, in the next series? We'll talk about that on the other side of this break.
Welcome back. Still tuned into Markets Tomorrow. We'll have to see what holds forth and whether or not this kind of rally that we saw is going to sustain. 90.91 is where we shut shop for the Nifty, backed by very strong volume activity, close to 4.9 lakh crores. But Sandeep wanted to talk about the tire space because that too has been seeing a fair amount of traction in the last few days. We've seen a good build-up come in names like CEAT, Apollo Tyres, even MRF, which are low volume traded names. Some of them have hit fresh all-time highs. Do you think that the story here looks pretty strong?
So as I just said, the auto component and the tire space are basically feeding through what's happening in the auto sector. I think there are expectations that we'll see a rebound. Also on the cost side, these companies have had a good run in terms of at least maintaining margins and not completely sacrificing earnings. So there are expectations in the broad market of a rebound, which is also helping the auto components and tire space.
And you know, that's one pocket that's looked very strong the whole of this series, Ashwini. What do you do with some of these names? Sasiat, Apollo, I mean, even a JK Tyre, for example, moved in Thursday's session.
Well, all of these stocks look fairly strong. The strongest, probably, JK Tyres, where we could easily expect levels of maybe even 160, 165. Apollo has, other headwinds. So maybe JK Tyres and even SIAT, where, levels closer to 310, 315 could be expected. So both these stocks are showing strong trends. MRF, and that's had a run up, is probably consolidating more. So instead of MRF or Apollo, maybe JK Tyre and SIAT are better stocks.
Amrish, I wanted to talk about the overall metals basket because no doubt we have seen a good degree of outperformance come about in names like SAIL, Tata Steel. But, a lot of analysts believe that now fundamentally all of the positives have already been priced in and there are no more triggers for a rise.
No, triggers are there. I think the next set of results from Chorus, I think, will again surprise people on the upside. So I do believe that there is still a decent upside for Tata Steel, but for the time being, yes, I think it could hover around these levels because it has more or less doubled from the lower levels which we have seen, closer to 200 a few months back. So I think one should look at buying Tata Steel possibly on a small correction in case we see a correction to levels of about 375, 380. I think that's the level to buy. And the immediate target, when I say immediate, I'm talking of the next 2 to 3 months, we should see levels of about 440, 450.
Sandeep, the pocket that's gotten into a bit of a limbo ever since the currency began strengthening is IT, and despite the volatility, none of these stocks have really done too well. Do you use this opportunity to start accumulating IT names?
I think this is a good opportunity to start looking at accumulating some of the IT names. What has happened is that the entire focus of the market has been now gone away from the IT sector entirely on the domestic political cycle and on expectations of what sectors can move if that cycle is seen to be favorable by the market. In this space, I think very clearly what's happening in the US is a stronger rebound coming through. And on top of that, I think we will also see the continued benefit of the rupee decline that we saw this year in the first 6 to 9 months. So once we go into next year, we will definitely see combination of volume growth picking up and margins remaining high. I think this is a good phase for the IT sector. We continue to like TCS and Infosys, and these are two large names which can be accumulated at these levels.
Amrish, what do you do with some of the banking names, because it has been very volatile? The Bank Nifty futures as a whole also has seen quite a bit of underperformance.
I think after the underperformance which you have seen, surely it's a time to get into banks and especially the PSU space, where I think at these levels there's not much of a downside. So surely it's a time to start buying into the PSU space as well as the private sector banks, where we are quite positive on Axis, HDFC Bank as well as ICICI Bank, and among the smaller ones is clearly DCB.
Okay, gentlemen, stay on. We've spoken about the series at large. We'll speak about what to do in tomorrow's session on the other side of this very quick break.
Welcome back. This is Markets Tomorrow, a great rally that we saw, but what are the individual stocks that you need to keep on your radar come tomorrow? That's what we're finding out. We start off with Gargi, who joins in from our research team with what the dealing rooms are discussing. Gargi.
Well, firstly, Voltas, that stock has seen strong momentum in today's session. In fact, if you look at the open interest build-up, if you look at the volume momentum, all of that has been indicating, that there is something brewing on Voltas. Remember that just 2 days back they announced an order win of about 1,000 crore rupees from the Middle East. Since then, we've seen a continuous buying in that particular counter. Today, it closed up with almost 12% gains. 111 is where it's trading at. So some buy recommendations coming in. Also, the F&O activity, that's giving some buy indicators. Even the technical, the chart is also seeing some buy bullish trend in fact on that counter. So that could be some stock where we may continue to see some buying coming in. So Voltas is the first one. The second one is Adani Enterprises. Again, very strong momentum as far as the volumes are concerned. There are buy recommendation coming in from dealers. We are expecting at least 3 to 5% kind of an up move in the coming few days for Adani Enterprises. So that's another buy call coming in from dealers' desks.
Okay, Gargi, many thanks for joining us and getting us that perspective. Sandeep, from the entire turnaround basket, which is probably the one that people are trading the most right now, which is your favorite story? Are you leaning towards companies like JP Associates? Are you betting on L&T, which has more bandwidth or size, and are you leaning towards the machinery companies?
Well, I think this has to be played in two parts. One is to play a large liquid name. L&T fits the bill here. It is a business which has still balance sheet, very high balance sheet strength. It has the ability to take this downturn which it has faced for the last 2 years, and is still positioned to take some of the upturn when we see an upturn coming through in 2014. So L&T becomes a very good candidate to play this entire space. The other way to look at this space is to look at right now businesses which have still credible managements and decent balance sheets. So to that extent, Voltas is one of those plays. The best time to look at leverage plays which we will see benefiting from an upturn is when we have a better handle on the domestic political outcomes and when we see interest rates peaking. So the likes of JPA probably need to be looked at in the next by March, when we expect the entire interest rate cycle to peak, and probably will be also getting close to a political outcome which we can expect and better predict. So probably from March onwards, leverage plays like JPA would be very interesting to look at.
Ashwini, run us through what your top trading recommendations are for tomorrow.
Well, Apollo Tyres is a buy with a stop of 78, target of 92. BHEL is a buy with a stop of 146, target of 162. And Sesa Sterlite is a buy with a stop of 170, target of 205.
Ambrish, where you're trading at first, before I ask you about an investment idea, and if you were to look at the December series, from amid stocks like say a Voltas, which has had a massive uptick the last 2 days, or a JP Associates, again a good mover, or for that matter stocks like Dish, which weren't in the fray at all but suddenly have flared up. Anything that you believe could provide a good trading upside?
I think Voltas can still provide an upside. It has just started moving, although it was languishing at those levels of about 85 for a long time. We have seen that move to levels of closer to about 111 based on news flows and certain amount of fundamentals. So I think this stock can easily move to levels of about 125, 130.
And where your investment hat now, Ambrish? I've asked you this question maybe 20 days back as well. Anything that you scan in the last 2 or 3 weeks which could provide a good investment theme for the next 6 months to 12 months?
Auto ancillaries, I think, is one space where we see extremely good sort of a momentum picking up, and we've been recommending Bharat Forge and Motherson Sumi, both of which have done decently well. In fact, Motherson Sumi has done extremely well over the past few weeks. But then one stock which has not done too well, I would still recommend that, which is Exide. And it has the same argument which has to give for CEAT about 15 months back, when it was, I think CEAT was about 9,500, and has to talk of replacement market demand which should start shooting up, and also on the rubber prices, which I was expecting to come down, and that's worked out extremely well for CEAT and has become a 3-bagger from those levels. But Exide also, I think the same argument will play out over the next, I think 12 to 15 months, because it's the same market where the replacement market is actually moving up. And clearly the issues for Exide in the recent past was the lead prices and the forex, which I think should get taken care of going ahead. So Exide at the current levels of about 111 is a great buy.
Okay, gentlemen, that's about all the time we have. So thanks so much for joining in today on the show and giving us your expert opinion. And with that, it's goodbye from Neeraj and me. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good evening.